Good afternoon, Britain, 23 minutes past 2. And now, the Conservative Member of Parliament and former Minister for London, Paul Scully, is set to stand down before the next general election.
Yes, and I'm pleased to say Paul Scully joins us now. Paul, why are you deciding to step down then?
Hi, both of you. Look, I'm not stepping down before the next election. I'm standing down at the next election, just to be clear. There are no by-elections or anything like that. I'm just not going to be standing. Look, it's a while in the making, you know, I think I lost my mojo sometime last year, and it's not right that as the, you know, you look at what's happening in the party. I think Sutton and Cheam is eminently winnable, but the next 5 years I think are a challenge for me personally, so it's not right that I'm there when someone else should probably take up the cudgels and move things forward. I'm not going to be... Yeah.
So it's not got anything to do with the heat you got after your comments on the old no-go areas?
No, I'd already told my association chairman the weekend before, actually, that of my intentions, and actually the only reason that it's taken so long to go public is because I didn't want it to be associated with that, because that was not anything to do with my decision. It has, however, confirmed that I've made the right decision, to be honest, because I just think there's a big disassociation, especially on social media and these kind of things, when you're speaking about something so important as community cohesion, to try and boil it down to four inappropriate words that I chose rather than the 12-minute interview that I get when I was arguing exactly the opposite of what I've been accused of doing. I think it's just born on my frustration of politics as a whole and where we are going, where we risk going as a party over the next 5 years if we don't up our game and create a vision, a different positive vision for the country.
No, it's so easy to see how so many of your colleagues and you yourself have become frustrated with the way that politics works, with the ability of getting legislation through, or even staying united as a party. All of those, I imagine, have fed into this atmosphere that has seen so many of your colleagues deciding that this is their last election to fight. But Paul, you say that the party needs to be rebuilt and that it needs energy and that it needs ideas and that it needs the sorts of ideas that you're espousing. I read your Twitter thread saying that it's important to stay within the bell curve of British public opinion. Surely you're an important voice in that fight.
I am, but, you know, I'm 56 and I don't want to retire as a politician, so I was probably only going to do one more term anyway. I'm not going to be part in that of the long-term solution from the inside of the party. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be having my say and getting involved in some way, shape or form. But I think the you know, the problem with being an MP is this odd job where your notice period is 5 years. Unless you're going to do a Boris or a Nigel Adams or Nadine Dorries or the like, I have to sign up for another 5 years, and that's just not something I particularly want to do personally. And for the sake of my you know, partner and family and friends, I think you know, I want to be able to move on to pastures new, but helping the party rebuild, because you have to do it from the centre ground, taking people with you. It's not losing a battle of the battle of ideas, but it's just not diving into an ideology without taking people with you. Rather than just sitting in the deep end and saying the water's warm, come in, start in the centre ground and move people with you wherever you want to go.
Well, you've described yourself as a moderate voice, and you wrote a piece, I think, in the Telegraph following the heat over the no-go areas comments, saying that, you know, you've had huge support for Muslim communities in the past, and because of being called an Islamophobe now, you just want to retreat.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously knew I was making my announcement at some point when I wrote those words, but it was more I was being very specific about that debate in particular, because 15 years of working with British Bangladeshis, British Pakistanis, with the Ahmadi community, Muslim community, it's been really difficult to then go through that process. But as I say, all that's doing is confirming my decision. It's not making my decision, which was already made up, and the process started before then.
And just finally, of course, you did stand to be Mayor of London. You weren't selected for the shortlist, so no Conservative members got to vote for your candidacy in the end. It was all a big mess. But do you rule out standing for any non-parliamentary roles in our politics in the future?
I may stand for something. I don't know is the honest answer in the future. Certainly this mayoral election, there's been touted around that I'm going to stand as an independent. I'm not going to be. But let's see what we do in the future. London is really important to me. I spent 4 years as Minister for London. And when London does well, the UK does well, and there are 9 million people that are so different from each other but come together to make this most amazing city. So I care passionately about it, and I want the Conservatives and everybody, frankly, to do the best for this city. And I think we're just letting them down at the moment by allowing Sadiq Khan a comparative free run.
Scully for London 2028. I'll be the first to say it. Paul Scully, thank you so much for joining us and talking through your decision.